Subscribe to Psychology in Minutes for relatable content. You've probably experienced this. You're lying in bed, scrolling through social media. You see friends at parties, someone traveling the world, someone announcing a new relationship, someone celebrating a promotion. Hundreds of people, thousands of posts. Yet somehow, you feel more alone than ever. And here's the strange part. We live in the most connected time in human history, yet loneliness is rising across the world. So what exactly is happening to our social lives in the digital age? The paradox of connection. For most of human history, connection meant physical presence. You saw the same people every day. Family members, neighbors, co-workers. People in your community, social bonds formed naturally through shared environments. But today, technology has completely changed how we connect. Social media, messaging apps, and video calls allow us to communicate with anyone, anywhere, instantly. In theory, this should make us less lonely. But in reality, many people feel more socially disconnected than before. Psychologists sometimes call this the connection paradox. We are constantly connected online. But many people lack deep, meaningful relationships offline. The rise of social media culture. Social media has transformed how we experience other people's lives. Instead of interacting directly, we now observe life through screens. We see birthdays, weddings, vacations, achievements, relationships. But what we see is not reality. It's a highlight reel. People rarely post their struggles, loneliness, or boring days. So when someone scrolls through social media, their brain starts making social comparisons. They think, everyone else seems happier than me. Even if that perception isn't true, over time, this constant comparison can slowly increase feelings of inadequacy and isolation. Who is most affected? Loneliness in the digital age does not affect everyone equally. Certain groups are particularly vulnerable. 1. Young adult studies show that Gen Z and millennials report some of the highest levels of loneliness. Despite growing up with constant online connection, many young people struggle with forming deep in-person relationships. Digital communication often replaces face-to-face interaction, and while texting or messaging is convenient, it doesn't fully activate the emotional bonding that happens during real conversations. 2. People who move away from family. Another group heavily affected by loneliness are people who relocate for education or work. Moving to a new city, or especially a new country, often means leaving behind family support systems, childhood friends, familiar communities. While technology allows them to stay in contact with loved ones, digital communication can't fully replace physical presence and shared experiences. This is why many immigrants, international students, and young professionals report higher levels of loneliness. Three, people experiencing major life transitions. Loneliness also increases during periods of change. Examples include starting college, beginning a new job, moving to a new city, going through a breakup. During these times, people often lose existing social routines before new ones are formed. The COVID-19 effect. The COVID pandemic dramatically accelerated this trend. During lockdowns, millions of people suddenly lost access to workplaces, schools, social gatherings, public spaces. Many relationships moved entirely online. For some people, this shift lasted months or even years. While digital communication helped maintain contact, it also reinforced a habit of interacting through screens instead of in person. Even after restrictions ended, many people found it difficult to return to regular social interaction. The benefits of technology. It's important to understand that technology itself is not the enemy. In many ways, digital communication has improved human connection. For example, technology allows families living in different countries to stay in contact daily. People can build communities around shared interests, hobbies, or identities online. For individuals who feel isolated in their physical environment, the internet can provide support networks and belonging. Online spaces have helped many people find friends, communities, and opportunities they might never have encountered otherwise. Where we are lacking. The problem appears when digital interaction replaces real connection instead of supporting it. Humans evolved to bond through eye contact, body language, shared physical experiences. These elements trigger powerful emotional responses in the brain. When interactions happen only through screens, many of these signals disappear. This can make communication feel less emotionally satisfying, even if we talk frequently. Over time, people may feel socially active online, but still experience emotional loneliness. Think about this situation. You spend an evening scrolling through social media, watching videos, replying to messages. Technically, you interacted with dozens of people. But if someone asked you afterward, "Did you have a meaningful conversation today?" the answer might still be no. That gap between interaction and connection is where loneliness often grows. How to break the loneliness loop. The good news is that loneliness is not permanent. Small behavioral changes can significantly improve social connection. 1. Prioritize real conversations. Try to replace some digital communication with real conversations. Phone calls, video chats, or meeting someone in person activate emotional bonding much more strongly than text messages. Chapter 2. Build regular social routines. Human connection becomes easier when it's structured. Examples include joining clubs or hobby groups, attending classes or workshops, participating in sports or community events. Regular environments create repeated interactions, which naturally build relationships. Chapter 3. Limit passive social media scrolling. Actively communicating online is very different from passively observing others. Reducing endless scrolling can decrease social comparison and improve mood. Or strengthen existing relationships. Sometimes people search for new connections while ignoring the ones they already have. Reaching out to old friends, family members, or colleagues can often rebuild meaningful relationships. Humans are deeply social creatures. For thousands of years, survival depended on belonging to a group. Technology has changed the way we communicate, but it hasn't changed our psychological need for connection. Likes, comments, and messages can create the illusion of connection, but what truly protects us from loneliness are real relationships, shared experiences, and genuine conversations. In a world where everyone is constantly connected, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply connect with one person, for real. Subscribe to Psychology in Minutes for relatable content.